Tass in Baltimore, and it is a late night of football and radio and weekend here, World Series baseball, as well as some pretty good college football as well. This guy will have his remote control going as he did on Thursday night. He is our host on Thursdays from 3 until 5 of the SSV on WNST. He also runs Coons Florida Security Boulevard in his spare time. We welcome Dennis Colazzos back here. He is the SSV on WNST and tweeting on a Thursday night. Plenty to tweet about during that game, Dennis, and I can pull your Twitter up to recap all of this. But let's just start at the beginning. The beginning of the Flacco hit, what it means, what adjudication is going to happen here. And as I said immediately, when you kill shot the other team's quarterback and it works and you actually knock him out of the game and bloody him and knock him into next week, there was a time where that was called football and that was the goal of the game. That's not the way the game's played anymore. When a guy gives himself up and hook slides, part of that should be the insurance that should never, ever, ever happen. And it did, and it happened to us. And, I would think the NFL should come down with some sort of death penalty for that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Nestor. The players are the game. We pay a lot of money to watch the stars, be it Mike Wallace the prior week against the Vikings, him taking a cheap headshot there by their safety, or Joe Flacco last night. You'd think they want to keep the players healthy and on the field for us to enjoy, not just for one game, but for an entire season. When that happens, the referees have got to be more aggressive in making that call. They can't be reluctant in injecting the player. And by definition, that was a penalty, whether it was accidental or incidental. But to me, it was clear that Alonso was targeting Joe Flacco. I would have had the same viewpoint had it been reversed, had it been, say, C.J. Mosley taking out Matt Moore last night in the same fashion. I understand it's a fast game. I understand they make decisions bang, bang, but Alonso's a very aggressive player. Clearly, he should have been ejected from the game. Look, they've got to get serious about player safety and not just give us lip service like they usually do.
Well, and in the case of that, Ryan Jensen coming over the top, Harbaugh coming out on the field, Flacco leaving a bloody, dazed mess. How do you leave him in the game? I mean, you could throw him out of the game and have no problem justifying it. None. I mean, literally. And then Ndamukong Suh choking out Ryan Mallett. I mean, what the hell are these guys doing?
Well, you got to get in their pocket, Nestor. Unfortunately, in any business, the best way to get someone's attention is to find them. And when they're penalized and when they're doing something so egregious, and whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 game checks, I think that's what starts to get the players' attention and change their behavior. If they don't change after that, then they're beyond repair. Sue, a dirty player all the way, should have been ejected as well. I think he had 2 personal fouls, and I don't know why he was able to stay in the game. Of course, it was very, very chippy after the Flacco injury, and with good cause. And that's why I hung in there in the second half to watch the game, because you could just tell that the emotions were boiling over for both teams. The Ravens came to the defense of the quarterback, and rightfully so. And it was just they put it to the Dolphins, particularly in that second half.
Dennis Colazzos joining us here from Coons Florida Security Boulevard. Of course, he's the SSV on WNST and monitoring all this. I want to step off the field for a minute, and I want to go to the empty seats, Dennis. And I know, I've heard you, you weren't going to go. You were upset. You're still watching the games. You're still tweeting. What do the Ravens owe you? I mean, I guess that's my question was, as I got into my seat and I saw that some people aren't there. And look, some of it is it's a Thursday night. You don't want to get home late. It was cold. The team stinks. You're pissed about the knee. Whatever. There's a lot of things going on. But if it is you're pissed about the knee, if it's not, well, I was Ravens hardcore. I was there in the snow game. I was there in the Green Bay game when it was 40-0. I was there for every game. But I'm pissed about the knee and I'm not going. What can the Ravens? Does Dick Cass have to call and tickle your feet? I mean, I don't understand what mea culpa, apology that I don't think they need to give to anybody as an organization. And I can see you could be mad and you don't want to go, but you can't find anybody to give your tickets away to, or you can't sell them for $20, or I don't. If you're trying to make the point by saying I'm leaving my seat empty as proving a point, I don't know what that point is. I don't. What does that mean for next year? What does that mean for next week, next month? I don't know where the end game of this is, other than you saying I'm canceling my PSL and not renewing my ticket. That's a real statement. Saying that I'm going to punish myself and not go out there, to embarrass the team or to make the place empty. I don't know what the end game is. I don't know what the dissenters now who aren't going to the game, what exactly is the restitution they're looking for to come running back to the Ravens? I don't. That's the weird part for me.
Yeah, I think there's three key factors here, Nestor, and I think a lot of people, a lot of season ticket holders feel the same exact way that I do. Number one, we're an entitled, spoiled fan base. I mean, we're used to winning. We're not used to watching mediocre to losing football around here. I think the second thing is the protest did in fact bother a lot of us, and the third and final thing is the fact that the product just hasn't been that good the last 3 out of 4 years, and even this year they've been mired in mediocrity. Right now, sitting at 4-4. The one more thing is that when I bought my season tickets, Nestor, I was 22 years ago. I was 31 years old. I'm 53 years old right now, and to go to a Thursday night game, it's tough. It's difficult. These night games for us older guys, I get up at 4:30 in the morning. And I can watch the game at home. I was happy last night. None of the Ravens took a knee, which is why I watched the game. And I gleefully watched the game. I think I'm over the knee thing. I think most of the players were misguided. I think they lost their message, whatever message they were trying to send. And I think there's a different way that they can go about handling it. And it's lost its steam. Looks like the Ravens are focused back to playing football. So I'm back, and if it's a day game, I'm going to be there. I think a lot of the season ticket holders, there's only 10 or 12,000 of us that control the 71,000 seats. I think we'll be back in droves as the product improves. And this team, they've got to surround Joe Flacco with some talent. I think it was made clear last night. Philadelphia, look at Carson Wentz. They get him Torrey Smith, Alshon Jeffrey, a couple of running backs. I mean, he's got a great offensive line. They have hung out Joe Flacco to dry for too many years. Joe Flacco deserves some toys around him, not guys on the back end of their career like Steve Smith or Anquan Bolden or even Jerry Maclin, an injury-prone guy who showed up big last night, Thursday night. But that's the key for the Ravens if they want to keep a guy like me happy is make good decisions, put a great product on the field, and everything else we can overcome.
He is Dennis Kalatzis. He is the SSV on WNST. He was tweeting from the warm comforts of his palatial estate over the weekend. The man cave at Coons Florida Security Boulevard. All right, so, life without Flacco and that hit and the big picture of having that happen to your quarterback. All that being said, Ryan Jensen jumps into the pile. Yeah. It was a chippy game to begin with, but they ran the football, and this kid Collins runs the football hard as anybody. I don't want to say Jamal Lewis, but I'll say Jamal. Ray Rice also ran like a bowling ball. You know what I mean? Like, there's a hard running style that he has that, it looks different to the naked eye to a fan in the upper deck as the way he's hitting holes with aggression.
Yeah, earlier in the game, they had a 3rd and 2, and they decided to try to hit the tight end in the flat, and they lost some yardage there. Instead of handing it off to Collins averages 6 yards plus a pop, Nestor. Glad to see him get 18 carries yesterday. He also had some receptions. He runs with bad intentions. He's got great vision, great balance, great power, and he has enough speed to break off 30 and 40-yard runs. He doesn't have to go 80 yards, but glad to see that they're giving him the ball more. It looks like he's been working on securing the football. He's carrying it high, a la Tiki Barber later on in his career. Got that straightened out. They can build an offense around him. And of course, we saw what happens when they can establish a run. Then Joe Flacco, the play action becomes just deadly. What a beautiful pass that was to Macklin down the sideline. You can't draw it up any better than that.
Well, then the other part of that is we've said, Flacco's lacked mobility. He's looked like an old man in there. The knee brace, what happened last year, the injuries, getting older, doesn't have as much help around him, not getting protection, all of that. And then on the one play, he comes out and he looked for 5 steps. 1, 2, 3. He was accelerating. He looked young. He looked fast. He looked motivated. He was full speed and looked full speed, and he gets his head taken off. Yeah. I mean, it's really incredible. I mean, that was the Flacco. I don't want to say I want to see him running out and bootlegging.
No.
We don't want to see that, but the ability for him to do it, the capability for him to do it was clearly very much there, and now we see him leave the game a broken, bloody mess. I like Joe a lot, personally, professionally, for what he's represented for the city and being a champion, what kind of man he is, what kind of family guy he is. just what kind of person he is over 10 years. To see that was disturbing for me, and I can only imagine how disturbing it is for every member of that organization.
Yeah, I was screaming at the TV set, get down, right before he got hit because, yeah, we don't want to see our franchise quarterback, all 6'6" of him rumbling down the field. It was clear. He knew where the first down marker was. He was trying to get to it. We would have preferred had Flacco just slid a second sooner, gone down, taken the field goal, and gotten out of there. It would have been a much better outcome for the entire organization going forward.
He is Dennis Colatzos. He is the SSV on WNST. What's going on, man? You got football on Thursday night, work all week, and you going to find a little time to watch some Sunday football, Dan?
Absolutely. I can't wait for this weekend. I'm a big fan, so I'll be tuning in. And what about the cat on the field last night? The cat was a big hit, and Tony Romo did a great job with the commentary.
I didn't see the commentary on the I saw the cat. I saw it run out. I just did not have the sound up.
It was really funny. Tony Romo, he does such a great job. Probably the best color announcer I've ever seen already in his first season. Very comfortable in that role, and I'm sure he was glad he was in the comfort and safety of the booth versus being on the field, getting his head knocked off like Joe Flacco did.
By the way, what a weird league, right? Like, we went out in Wembley and stunk, right?
Yeah.
Oakland went out on the field against us and stunk. Miami didn't show up on Thursday night. I mean, it's the amount of blowouts and the amount of weird mismatches amongst teams that you probably know deep down aren't very good. But when things go off the rails for the Ravens in London or the Ravens in Minnesota, but it's amazing how bad teams can look on any given night in this league.
Yeah, any Vikings fan watching a game Thursday night would have thought we can't believe this is the same team that we suffocated in our own stadium just a few days prior. And same thing with Jacksonville fans. They can't believe that this is the same team that they also dominated, as you mentioned, across the pond. It is a weird, wacky league, and the statement on any given Sunday has never been more true than it is today. It rings true because of all this parity in this league. And look, the Ravens now have some hope. Ravens Nation should be fired up, 4-4. They're going to get a nice break here with a bye coming up soon, and they're very much in contention. I can see this team still winning 9 or 10 ball games, and that just may be enough to get them in the playoffs. One
football game over the next 17 days, Dennis, right? I mean, and a game in Nashville, not an easy trip. We're going to have some fans down there. You get 10 days to wait that out. Tennessee had the week off as well. They're going to be sitting around waiting next week as well. Defensively, to see them tackle better, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just wrapping up, Ladarius Webb making open field tackles, Eric Weddle following through like a wrestler, on a mat, I like that. I like the fact that there was a semblance of a pass rush, and they're not seeing Aaron Rodgers 2 weeks from now. So this thing, it feels like there's a little bit of momentum, but more of that, run the ball and playing defense, and just hope that Joe Flacco can come back from whatever hideousness that was leveled upon him Thursday night.
No question about it, Nestor. During the broadcast, the broadcaster made a big deal of the Dolphins. The last 17 games, they were like 14-3 or 13-4, one of the best teams in the league. So they were really piping them up to be the next big thing. And of course, the Ravens just come out and lay a smackdown on them, for lack of a better term.
Hey, man, have a great weekend. Put your feet up, relax. We got hockey. We got World Series baseball. That thing's heating up. We're going to have some college football, some great NFL games on Sunday as well as on Monday night. You can find Dennis at Coons Florida Security Boulevard. You can also find him at the SSV on WNST, and he'll be here next Thursday, as he is every Thursday, from 3 until 5, getting you ready for the Ravens trip to Nashville. You're not going to play country music on the station next Thursday, are you? I hope not. Anyway, Dennis Colatzos joining us here. He is the SSV on WNST. Nasty at WNST.net finds me. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. I am Nestor. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.